What'd you say? Tap on my phone book.
Oh, Mac Tac, mic check, 1 2 1 2.
These.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Virtual Media Day for the championships. Excited you are all here. We are starting out with the bad man. Mills, why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
Hey, how's it going? It's MMA Locker Room, part of Puff Sports Radio. How you doing, Batman?
I'm well. Thanks for asking.
Man, I always ask you this, so it's only right, man. What's the message of the day? What's the word of the day?
Dominate. You gotta let me know what my last ones have been. I gotta I gotta have a history list of what my words been. I don't want to use the same words, but this one's dominate. It's the only thing on my mind.
Got it. With that being said, man, I mean, you just signed that new contract. This is gonna be what, your first fight in the new deal?
What new contract?
Oh, I remember seeing you a post about, when you did something with the PFL and extended the contract, got, a big pay, and you had your manager in there with you. And didn't you have a little post on something on your Instagram or something?
Nah, that's somebody else. Trust me, I ain't got no new contract for PFL.
Got it. I must be confusing
I'm looking for
it.
that bitch right now as we speak. So this is the
I
last
must be confusing
contract.
it then, man. I'm confusing it with your new promotion that you were doing for your drink or something, right? You was out there, you had a new promotion, promoting some type of liquid or something, right?
Well, I do got a Bud Light contract.
Got it.
Bud Light contract.
All right, man. Enough about that, man. Let's get down to it, man. I mean, what's better than fighting somebody who we like to call your arch rival enemy? But I mean, just talk to me a little bit about the mental preparation that it's going to take for you to keep all your emotions inside and not just try to punch them so much and hurt them.
Yeah, it's something that I've been working on. We did a good job in April, honing our emotions and doing the right things inside the cage and outside the cage. I believe we had an amazing camp this time around, and yeah, it's about not letting your highs too high and lows too low, so you can make sure that this performance is one to put a stamp on. Everybody wants that trilogy win. Everybody wants that win, that last one. I like to say the first one was a fluke. The second one was not that long ago. So we're looking to repeat the process and get the job done in any way or fashion.
Got it. And who do you think's gonna be able to get the title in this one, man? I know you're not able to get it, but if you was to give your pick out there, who do you think's gonna be able to take that title back in this fight?
I got Pinedo. I thought Pinedo won the first fight between the two. Braga's an amazing fighter, and he's done a great job with his dad in his corner and things like that. Impressed me a lot because I'm a father, and I hope to live the same dream the father of Braga is doing. But for sure, I got to go with the guy that I believe won the first time. I believe he beat the two best guys in the weight class from last year, him beating me in Loughnane. And, he stormed the castle when it came to me. So, he taught me something that night that I was not prepared for. And I believe, he's just that type of scrappy fighter to get the job done.
And last one for me. So we haven't seen a heated rivalry like this in the promotion since, I would say, like Rufion Stotts and Danny Sabatello. They recently just fought again, and afterwards they even said, "Hey, man, we'll fight again in a parking lot." But they did show that formal respect and actually shake hands. Anyway, after this,
Nope. Kick rocks. Get out of my face. I tried to shake your hand. Try to give you that closure last time. I told you in the cage, hey, this is done. We got no more ill will towards each other in Vegas. I got everybody in the crowd, everybody in the world that I want to be there at that moment. And if he wanted to do something, we could have definitely did something. And I let him know then, hey man, this Ventrell that we have is canceled. And he went back home and somebody gassed his ass up, told him that I put my balls on the back of his neck, and he came back with a vengeance, or came back with his mouth. And I was already the gentleman. I was already the nice guy. I was already the bad man, but a good guy. And he decided to override that. When me and him had a personal one-on-one, I told him, let's dead it. And he gave me an impression that he was about that. And he went home, and I'm evicting him. Today is not today, but Friday will be his last showing with me. And I will be evicting his process. I will be taking him out of this organization.
Recording in progress.
Breeze.
What's up, Bubba? It's Breeze with the MMA Breeze.
What's up, big dog?
No, not a whole lot, man. Pumped to see you guys throw down for the third time. First question for me is just, what's going to be different about this trilogy fight? You guys have both faced each other in two long bouts, seen a lot of each other's game. What makes this one different?
I think what's going to make this one different is I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to do what I want. Last time I did what I needed to get the victory. I just felt like it was too easy to wrestle him to the victory that I gave him. I was first round of the tournament, so I had some other things to prepare for and other things to look out for and safety, but there's nothing after this. I kind of want to talk to the commission, see if we can get some elbows in here, since there ain't no other things going down after this. But I'm gonna be able to do what I want, not what I need.
Yep. Speaking of the elbows, Bubba, there was obviously the news of the acquisition or the merger with Bellator and PFL. You have a history with the other promotion, and obviously you have quite the run here with the PFL. What's your take on the acquisition or the merger, and what do you see for your future here now with the two promotions colliding?
Man, I love it. It's a beautiful thing. Anytime PFL is doing anything and making news, making waves, I'm appreciative of the guys at the higher ups doing these things, and especially to strengthen the roster and get some other guys in here, get some other some other pigs to hunt in the woods is a good thing for me. So I'm excited about that. And there were a lot of Bellator fighters that was ducking and hiding behind management and hiding behind their little wave and their little train that they were on, and they were Bellator was allowing them to allow me to stay out of the fights and just put me on the side 6-7 months at a time. So that's one of the reasons why I asked for my release. You're not going to give me the fights that I want. You're not going to give me the opponents that I want. You're not going to give me anything that helps me go towards the championship. I'm going to ask for my release. But, full circle, a table is made in the presence of your enemy. And that's what I've read before. So I'm excited about the fact that they got to come see me because I'm the guy. I'm the big bad wolf where I'm at.
That's right. Last one from me on that note is there anybody on the Bellator roster, because you used to compete there, you're familiar with those guys, is there any one or two names that stick out to you that now has your juices flowing saying, man, that's one guy I got to face?
There's a couple of names out there that I'm excited to see. I'm not going to give y'all that yet. I want anticipation for the next interviews that I give, I suppose, when it comes down. But also I'm truly focused on Karen right now. Karen, Thomas, and the rest of the Wades. There's probably 6 of them in my DMs right now, but Karen can get it first, and then we'll see what's happening later.
Best of luck, Bubba. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jay Christian.
Bubba Bad Man, how you doing, brother? Jay Christian here, Focus Fights Audio.
I'm good, buddy. Thank you.
I got a few questions to ask. I mean, the last time we seen you on a globally known PFL press session, it almost felt like the rest of the assembled masses, John Morgan and myself included, were huddled in the corner waiting for you and Chris to come to blows, man. But with this fight being deemed a grudge match, obviously it would have been better if you would have faced Brendan Lotney, but still it's you and Chris Wade. Would you say that after this particular fight, it's best for you and Wade to move on?
It's best for Wade to move on, yes. He'll be dealing with his 3rd loss this year. He's one of the most gifted from the PFL. They gift him all these things, and for him to get another fight, he was gifted to be in the playoffs. He's gifted to get another fight on the championship night, when it has nothing to do with him, and it hasn't had anything to do with him since Moblet was healthy. Yeah, he's going to be dealing with his 3rd loss this year. He'll know that as long as I breathe and live, he's got no sniff at the title. And therefore he can pack his bags and get moving. He said he lives rent free. Well, that eviction notice is in, and it definitely wasn't free last time. He paid that rent.
Right. You probably might have to do like what Dolomite did in Coming to America. But still, though, second question I want to ask, and I know that Breeze already opined on this, but with the possibility of you facing off against Bellator's best again, would you hope that your next fight after facing Chris Wade be against a top Bellator contender?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to testing the waters over there with some of the names that either declined to fight me or got management involved so we couldn't fight, or had a hype train going that management didn't want to knock off. And knowing that I'm the type of fighter that I am, they knew that was very possible. So I'm excited to have that card split in the block.
I see. And my final question, I mean, obviously this week is Thanksgiving week after all. And tomorrow is Thanksgiving. If you were not fighting on this card, what would be your go-to Thanksgiving dish?
See, I'm not a traditional Thanksgiving guy because my family comes from a bunch of different places, so we have a ton of different food. But I'm naturally a seafood guy, and I'm putting lobster on my menu regardless. Lobster, crab, and shrimp are going to get on the table at any big eating family gathering there is. So That was something seafood, something swimming, something that's got a shell on it is coming this way.
Understood. But other than that, best skill to you. I know that you and Chris Wade are gonna beat the crap out of each other, but I hope that y'all make it
It's
out of
gonna
this
be
safe.
one-sided like our interviews and like the last fight. Ain't gonna be no beat the crap out of me. I can tell you that right now.
Okay, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Mike Pendleton, last question for Bubba, please.
Hey, Bubba, just I'll make it a two-part then. How much urgency, you've talked about this rivalry and pretty one-sided from your standpoint. How persistent are you to go in there and get the finish? Obviously, I know when you have a rivalry, you want to close the chapter in an emphatic way. And looking to do that this weekend, you've mentioned Bellator, you've mentioned the merge, all that. Not only this sense of pride in closing this rivalry, but what sense of pride do you have having this merger happen and you representing PFL? You talked about how Bellator did you dirty back in the day. So just a two-part on what it would mean to close out this rivalry with Chris with a finish and what it means to represent PFL instead of Bellator as this merger comes together.
Well, it's super urgent that I close this rivalry out in grand fashion. I felt as though I let the clock slip away as far as looking to get the job done, as far as looking for a finish in the last fight. I was preparing for other fights in the season, so, I didn't really look to push the needle on that fight. I felt like me wrestling him and staying safe and not getting any injuries was the best and the smartest route. But with nothing after this fight, being that it's the last fight on the season, I'm looking to be one of the first to knock him out or finish him in grand fashion. I don't think he's been finished like that before. And I'm looking to do that. And yeah, the Bellator question. I'm excited about what they have going, what they had going, and what PFL is now bringing to the table. And I'm ready to eat, with Thanksgiving on the horizon and PFL giving me a Christmas gift and Karen. I'm excited about the things that PFL is going to be doing, and I'm a part of it in a big way. Representing them is for sure a plus for me. I love everything about PFL, the higher ups, from the camera people to the interviewees to PFL is definitely my favorite organization over all the years. And, I've been in a lot of corners to coach and this and that. And, I haven't always liked being in other organizations, but PFL is creme de la creme of it all. And I'm excited to see what they put on my plate.
Appreciate the time. All the best this weekend. Happy holidays to you and your family.
All right, buddy. Thank you. You too.
All right, Bubba, thank you so much. Let's get you over to the other room.
All righty. That was cool. Right, Ashton.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Those are some flashy Crocs.
You like them?
Yeah, I do.
They're my winning Crocs, my business Crocs. All right, guys, if you have questions for Biaggio, please raise your hand. Jake, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Awesome. Hey, Biaggio. Happy fight week. How we doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome, man. Thanks for taking the time. So I'm just fourth fight of the year. Edge.
Whatnot. So yeah, super excited. It's starting to get normal now.
And then I know you're always asked this question, but obviously it's the one we want to know. 2020
really.
Recording in progress.
But I think so. You know, obviously after this next fight, I'm gonna sit down with my coach, see what he thinks. But yeah.
And then I know you said you can't announce too much given looks to maybe your coach over there, but is the plan, if you can say, to do the tournament or do like a more one-off style like you've been doing?
Yeah. So when I go pro, I expect to not just go jump into the tournament. You know, I want to build some credibility first. You know, I'd like to get a nice little record going, and then, you know, when the PFL and my coach think it's mutually good to hop into the tournament, then I'll do that. But yeah, I need to get some credibility first. You know, build my record up a little bit, and yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
And then last one for me, man. Obviously, the big news this week is Bellator PFL merger, the acquisition. So, what are your thoughts on that and all the new faces in the roster?
I think it's great. You know, it's really a historical turning point for MMA to have these two big promotions come together. You know, the roster's going to be filled with so much talent. I'm super excited to see where it goes. You know, it's historical, like I said. So I'm super excited. And you know, the PFL and Bellator together, they have a huge future.
Best of luck, best of skill.
Thank you.
Lorenzo.
Hey, Biaggio, good to talk to you again. Last time we talked, it was after your second or third fight, and you know, you had already built up the reputation of being quite the finisher. You finished 5 straight fights now. I asked you whether or not you were looking forward to getting into a long war for your next match. That hasn't happened yet. Do you like being known as the finisher, as the big puncher like that?
Hell yeah, because, you know, being a finisher, it draws eyes, it gives me viewership, and, you know, along with being Ali's grandson, that only helps. That's the cherry on top. So yeah, I like finishing fights. You know, I like to get in there and get out. But you know, to me, that a 3-round war is a real fight. So I think if that were to happen, you know, it'll only prepare me for my pro career. And even when I'm pro and that happens, you know, it's only just gonna make me get better. You know, I like to look at everything that happens is good. You know, it's only negative if you see it being negative. So yeah, I think a 3-round war on Friday would really help for my pro career and prepare me.
And lastly, for me, with the new influx of fighters coming into the PFL after the merger, what do you have to say about the increased opportunity that you'll have in 2024?
I'm just super grateful. I'm blessed. You know, it's like I'm seeing everything I'm seeing all the stars starting to align. You know, for PFL and Bellator to get together, it's awesome for the sport. It's great for the fighters too. You know, I think the fighters are going to be able to have a lot of great opportunities. Yeah, it's a historical moment for MMA. You know, if you're an MMA fan and you see this kind of stuff happening, you know, naturally you want to tune in. So yeah, I'm super excited for all the fighters and what's to come in the future.
Thanks, Biaggio. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Breeze.
Hey, it's Breeze with the MMA Breeze. Just first question for you. I know you're talking about a few things that you're waiting on before you feel maybe that you've accomplished everything at the amateur level and before you go pro. Are there any specific feathers in your cap that you're looking for? And if so, how important is it to you to show off your grappling? Because I know in your amateur career, the one loss that you have does come by the way of submission. So
Yeah.
all your other fights have been fantastic knockouts, and I know you're aiming for that pro career. How important is it to you to show some of that grappling at this level?
To be completely honest, I don't care to show it. I like knocking people out, really. I grapple and wrestle more than I do striking at the gym, but you don't see that. Nobody else sees that. I'm going with the best guys, D1 All-American wrestlers, black belts in jiu-jitsu, all these guys. You know, at Extreme Couture, we have such high-level dudes. And in my sparring too, I like to wrestle and grapple a lot. But I like to wrestle and grapple so that, you know, to me, the point of mixed martial arts is to force your opponent to do what you want to do. And I want to knock you out. So yeah, you know, it's important to show it off, but, you know, I'm in MMA, so the opportunity is always going to come. And when the opportunity comes, I'll be able to show what level I'm at in wrestling and grappling.
Absolutely. And then last for me is where do you see your career come the end of 2024?
Ooh, at the end of 2024, you know, God willing, I'll be victorious in all of my fights, and I'll be building up that credibility, and then see, you know, where my record's at or where I'm at in the future. And you know, I think in the future I'll be able to go into the tournament. Maybe, who knows? You know, I don't know, but I just hope that I become victorious and stay injury free and put on exciting fights.
Absolutely. Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Mike.
Thanks for making the time. When obviously the big news with the merger that you've already spoke on, but someone who has spent so much time under the PFL banner, what does it mean to you to represent them? You know, for so long, you know, it was obviously the one promotion with the other three letters, and then it was Bellator and PFL. Business has been booming since the start for PFL. And now that there's a whole bigger roster merging together, what sense of pride do you have knowing like this is where your career before you even turned pro has taken off and they've given you this platform? What kind of sense of pride do you hold for that?
Oh, a ton. You know, I'm super blessed to be with the PFL. They, you know, I'm blessed to be with them because they saw potential in me. You know, when they first came to me, I was 0-1. I had lost my first amateur fight. So when they initially came to me, I was very nervous. I was overwhelmed. I'm like, why me? You know, I'm 0-1 as an amateur. I was just very, very confused, as anybody would be as an amateur fighter that's 0-1, and the PFL comes to them that seeing potential in you. So I'm super grateful for the PFL. They've helped me so much. They're just a huge, I can't even like find words to convey just how I feel and how grateful I am to be with them. They treat me well. They treat their fighters well. Yeah, it's awesome. And to see the merging between Bellator and PFL it's awesome because it gives so many fighters so many great opportunities, and the sky's the limit now for the company.
And sky's the limit for you. I know you can't talk too much about the future, but when you have the history that you have, and I know you just said you like knocking people out. I mean, who wouldn't, especially given your family lineage? What have you been able to learn, though? Because each and every fight you're going in, you're getting these finishes. And I know some people say, oh, I get tested more, I learn more if it goes all 15 minutes. But I've got to assume each and every fight you're learning something about yourself, no matter how long it lasts. What would you say as you close out 2023 you have been able to learn throughout these few fights to start your career?
I don't know. It's weird. I'm never satisfied with my performance. It's even though I get a win and stuff, I'm like almost never satisfied. And I think that's a good thing because it makes me want to get better and better and better and better. It's kind of like that, like Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality, you know. I don't like even after fights, I don't celebrate. I don't run around screaming and this and that. I kind of just walk away and I want to just get donuts or pizza, you know. So I'm never really satisfied, but I think in that I'm learning more about myself, and I'm trying to just perfect each and every single thing as much as I can. So, yeah, after every fight, you won't see me celebrate until I win a belt.
Thank you.
Corey, finish us up with Biaggio, please.
Hey, Biaggio, Corey Newman with Tunnel Vision Sports. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good, good. I was just wondering what training with Eric Nixick has meant to you in your young career so far. I know he's had plenty of fighters speak up for him and talk highly about him, and I just wanted to hear what you had to say about him.
Eric's amazing. You know, Eric comes from a football background just like myself. So in that alone, we can relate a lot. You know, as soon as I got to Extreme Couture, Eric was very welcoming and supportive of me. He helps me so much. You know, I know he works with a lot of high level dudes, so I always try to pick his brain whenever I see him available. But yeah, every coach there at Extreme Couture, I can't even find words to convey how grateful I am. But yeah, Eric helps me so much. You know, he should win Coach of the Year this year with what he did with Sean and Francis Ngannou when he fought Fury. So yeah, I'm blessed. I'm super blessed. That's all I can say.
I totally agree about the Coach of the Year. And do you have a post-fight meal that you like? You just spoke about pizza. What do you?
Post-fight. If Dunkin' Donuts is closed, I'll get pizza. If It's open. I'll get donuts. So yeah, that's literally the go-tos right there. Pizza and donuts.
All right. Best of skill, best of luck. I'll see you on
Thank
Friday.
you.
All right, Biaggio, thank you so much for your
Thank you
time.
guys.
We're just gonna go right over here to this room. All right, if you have questions for Ray, please raise your hand. Jay Christian, start us off.
Brother boy, how are you, brother? It's Jay Christian Gary at Focus Fights Audio. How are you?
What's up, man? Doing good. How you doing?
Nothing much, man. Hey, just a quick two-parter. We all know you fought in the PFL before. You're a former two-time PFL welterweight world champion, and you fought some big names and some names people would like to forget. But does fighting Derek Brunson bring out the nervousness in you, or does it amp you up? And also, I seen the little tweet from Khai III talking about, after PFL bought out Bellator, of course, saying that it would be cool to have a PFL Hawaii card with you in the main event and him in the co-main event. I know I don't know nothing about Hawaiian culture because I'm 4,000 miles to the east of your beautiful land. But if a PFL Hawaii event does come to fruition, will fighting alongside your Ohana be something that y'all would be interested in?
Yeah, it'll be great. Fighting Derek Brunson. It's just another guy in front of me that I'm gonna run over. A lot of guys have been to world title fights, so this is nothing new to me. And yeah, I've been telling PFL to bring a fight to Hawaii since the beginning. But it never happened. But it'll be great to headline card back there. I haven't fought there since I first started fighting. I mean, my cousin fought on multiple cards before, and it'll be a real blessing if that could happen.
I see. Other than that, man, best of skill to you. Happy Thanksgiving, and obviously a early Meli Kaliki Maka to you as well.
Yes, thank you. Hello.
Lorenzo.
Hey Ray, good to talk to you again, my man. You haven't fought in almost a year and a half. Just want to know, how does it feel during this training camp now that you're back in the mix?
Just like any other one. I'm ready to go. I just real glad to get back in the cage again and fight.
I'm sure you were still training during this time off. I'm just wondering, is there an adjustment period once you're back in a serious training camp? Once you had the date set for Derek Brunson, is there a week or two where it takes some time to get back into the field?
Yeah, it always takes time to get your body back to full training camp, but I did it so long, it's nothing new. You just have to get through that period, and I'm ready.
And lastly, for me, what can you tell us about what you see in Derek Brunson's game? He's a newcomer to the promotion, so what can you tell us about what you have to look out for this Friday?
I don't need to look up for anything. He needs to look up for me. Yeah, he probably wants to just wrestle. So, my background is wrestling, so he can do whatever he wants. I'm not worried about anything.
Gotcha. Thanks a lot, Ray. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jake.
Hey Ray, happy fight week. How you doing?
Good, brother.
So obviously long time off. That's the big story here. Can I just ask you, what do you attribute that to? Why so long out of the octagon?
I'm not sure. It's not a question for me to answer. You gotta ask PFL. I was ready this whole time. And yeah, I don't really care about that. I'm just focused on this fight and glad to fight again.
Well, now that you are back, are you looking to make up for, somewhat of a dormant year next year? Like, what are your goals for 2024 after this big fight?
Oh, after I beat Derek Brunson, I'm looking to stay active with hopefully getting some fights with the new Bellator guys. I feel like there's a lot of matchups there, and yeah, I'm not too sure, but we'll see.
Any particular names in that Bellator roster that interests you, or just anybody?
Anybody you want to put in front of me.
And then who's going to be coming with you to be in your corner?
Just my brother McCoy and Blake.
Awesome. Best of luck. Best of skill.
Thank you.
Breeze.
Hey Ray, it's Breeze with the MMA Breeze. Just your new matchup with Brunson. It's an exciting one. It's going to bring in a lot of fans, and a lot of times when we see two wrestlers go at it, it kind of negates itself and becomes a kickboxing match. Do you see this fight with Derek staying on the feet, or do you plan to put some of your roots into this match?
It doesn't matter wherever the fight goes. I dictate the pace of the fight, and I'm looking to stand. There's no secret to that. But wherever the fight goes, I'm ready.
Absolutely. And so for your plans for 2025, are you planning on entering the tournament again? And if so, is there anybody on the PFL or Bellator roster that excites you about facing next year?
I'm not too sure. We'll see about that. But yeah, there's a lot of fights at Bellator. I don't know one name in particular, but whoever it is, I'm ready.
Awesome. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Mills.
Hey, how's it going, Ray? It's MMA Locker Room, part of Pub Sports Radio.
How's it?
Good. Just want to say, man, I love your cold-blooded emotion right now. You know, I think that's something that a lot of fighters should take notes off of. But out of your last 6 wins, 4 of them was all finishes. Now you're going to be stepping up at a higher weight class. Is there anything that you plan on implementing a little bit different in this one, since you're going to be fighting at a different weight class?
No, not really. Just I'm gonna punch a little bit harder. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm just gonna go in there and get into a fight.
Got it. And speaking about a fight, I mean, a lot of people was always saying this for the past couple of years. They would always want to see Ray Cooper fight some of these big names and or other organizations, or even maybe leave the organization. But now it seems like everybody's coming over to this organization. So us, the fans, the matchmakers, are finally going to get what we wanted for years. I know you're just looking at it just like another fight, but do you get anything off of it fighting other fighters who's actually been in the UFC, or is it just another guy?
I mean, I fought guys from the UFC. It's nothing new. They come over here. They think they just because they're from the UFC, they're gonna come here and run stuff in PFL. But I always shut that down real quick. And yeah, I don't know. None of these guys is one big threat to me that I think of. So not really.
All right, last one for me. What's your favorite food at Thanksgiving time?
I don't know. Everything. I eat everything.
Got it. All right, man. Can't wait to see you guys fight this week. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Corey.
Hey, Ray. Corey Newman from Tunnel Vision Sports. I was just wondering, with the recent acquisition of Bellator, if all goes well on Friday with the 185 debut for yourself, do you see yourself fighting Johnny Eblen in the future?
Yeah. That's a good fight to fight. I'm a 2-time world champion. He's a world champion himself. I'm from a lower division, but I feel like that doesn't matter. But yeah, Johnny Eblen is a great fighter. It would be great to fight him.
And you spoke about Brunson for a second, saying he would only want to wrestle, or that's what you think. Is that truly what you think? I know he is mostly a wrestler, but you have a lot of wrestling credentials as well, and I just don't see him only trying to wrestle.
Well, from what I think, that's what I think he's gonna wrestle. I'm gonna get in his face and throw hands with him, and I don't see him trying to want to throw hands. He's gonna want to grab me. He thinks he's the bigger fighter. That's what he thinks. He's gonna try to wrestle me, but I'm looking to throw hands and put hands on him.
Fair enough. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
All right, guys. Any more? Jennifer. Jennifer, did you have a question for Ray? You're on mute if so. All right. Anyone else have a question for Ray before we let him go? All right. Awesome. Ray, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate you. We're just gonna go right over here to this room. Thank you so much. All right, guys. We are waiting for Chris Wade. He should be here in about 4 minutes, at 30 after. So if anyone needs to grab a drink or a snack, now is the time to do so. Also, raise your hands for questions for Chris Wade. All right, Chris is walking down right now. He should be here in about 2 minutes. All right, Lorenzo, go ahead and kick us off with Chris Wade, please.
Hey, Chris, good to talk to you again, brother. With how the PFL season format works, you haven't really been used to other fighters calling each other out and all that drama. So that brings me to my question. How did it feel to see Bubba call you out on his podcast a couple of months ago?
I mean, I'm not surprised by anything that guy does involving me. He's pretty hung up on me. So after he took the loss, the way he took the loss, I didn't really expect him to call me out because I thought the season was basically a wrap, but I definitely knew there would be some banter back and forth. The fact that it actually got parlayed into a fight is pretty cool, though. Pretty wild.
And after this Friday, I mean, regardless of what the outcome is it safe to say you're done with Bubba Jenkins after this?
Yeah, I've been done with the guy. I mean, I'm in here to get money, man. I'm in here to fucking make money and support my family and do well and do things with that money. I don't give a shit about that guy, but it's an opportunity for me to compete, make money, and do smart things with that money.
Thanks, Chris. I got one more for you. You've been in this season format for quite some time now. I'm sure you're used to it. I'm sure your body likes it. You like the grind. With the recent acquisition of Bellator, it seems like there's going to be more of an opportunity for one-off fights come 2024 and beyond. I was just curious, what are your early thoughts on how you want to approach 2024 in terms of scheduling?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry for the delay. It's something that honestly I'm just still thinking about. I'm focused on this week. I'm focused on, weigh-ins and on Friday. And then that's something that, I've been talking to my family all year about it, and they don't want me to make this weight anymore. And, I love my family and I respect them, and it's something that I'm seriously, considering is just being the last time that I'm here at this weight.
That's understandable. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Can't wait to see you guys fight on Friday.
Thank you.
Chris, do me a favor, scoot up just a little bit.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No problem. Jake.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank
Okay.
you.
Hey, Chris, happy fight week. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up? Doing good. Last day before weigh-in, so as good as you can do.
So just going back to what you just said, you're considering moving up a weight class. Just can you kind of talk about that a little bit? Like, would you just go up in your next fight? Like, what are your plans there, or just preliminary talks?
I haven't really had any preliminary talks. It's just that I don't have the want, the drive, my family doesn't want me to make the weight anymore. It's just a lot on me. I'm a big guy for the weight. And whatever that means, it means. If it means I'm done, it means I'm done. If it means that there's opportunity for me on some one-off stuff at 55, I still love competing. I'm still so passionate about it, but I think you watched your last run of me at featherweight in the PFL season format.
And do you have interest in doing lightweight season format, or that would be more of one off, it seems, or again, too early, you don't really know?
Yeah, I don't really know yet. Honestly, season's a long season, so I've been doing it for 5 years, almost 20 fights in 5 years. So we'll see. I don't know what opportunities will be available to me from the PFL side. I don't know what value they see in me. So I have to hear from them.
Well, Bubba first, and then you can figure out the rest, man. But I am curious about your overall thoughts on PFL Bellator merger and what opportunities that could present itself for you.
I'm really happy for the PFL that they're growing, and you know, I said this in a couple of previous interviews, but it's so cool to see the growth from year one to now. It's only 5 years, and look at it already, acquiring Bellator, another like huge organization. So I'm a PFL guy through and through, man, and hopefully it opens more doors, yeah, to like some one-off stuff, and that would be cool. Or, you know, maybe it opens the doors to me doing something outside of being in the cage punching and kicking. Who knows? You know, I think that I'm an intelligent guy, and I've been around this sport for a long time, so maybe I'm in a different role. I don't know, but I would love to be a part of it. I really would.
Appreciate the time. Best of luck. Best of skill.
Breeze.
Hey, Chris, it's Breeze with the MMA Breeze.
Yo, what's up?
How's it going, man?
Good, man.
I wanted to just touch on kind of what you opened the door for us with about 55 and, you know, maybe even the prospect of doing something other than fighting. But just to play a little devil's advocate, you know, you have posted it and shared on your Instagram yourself and the shape that you've been in since joining the PFL. You seem to be aging like fine wine. You're out here performing fantastically. So your performances are great. And when we spoke with you, felt like just yesterday, how Jermaine Sterling brought the belt back and you were gassed up, ready to do something big for Long Island yourself. And each run has been very, very close to greatness. So has there been something that's happened since the last time we talked and heard that from you that's made you feel like it's maybe time to just slow down? Or is it negotiations or anything like that? Or you just feel like you kind of paid your dues and looking for different types of things to intrinsically gratify you now?
It's just so hard for me to make the weight, man. If anybody follows me and sees what I go through, my family does see that, my friends see it, my coaches see it, and they're always concerned, and they just don't want to see me do it anymore. They've literally sat me down and asked me, please, we don't want you to do this anymore. And I'm a family guy, man. It's not that, and I feel it too. Trust me, I'm sitting here right now, like, just telling myself, like, this is the last day you're ever gonna have to sit here and feel like this. Because no, I'm gonna look you guys in the camera right now, and I hope this changes something. No fucking athlete that competes at this high of a level should be this depleted and having to go fight and try to kill the other guy the next day. That is the opposite of what you do in sports. So I know it's our choice, but we're kind of forced into that, and something needs to change. They got to figure something out, but it's not healthy. It's not healthy to pull all that water out of your body and then try to force it all back in, and then think you're gonna have the best performance of your life all the time, right? If I told you that Patrick Mahomes has to cut 30 pounds before his game against the Eagles, and then he's got to take the hits, and he's got to perform, and he's got to hopefully throw 3 touchdown passes, you would say to yourself, there's no way that guy's going to wind up in the hospital. So that's how I feel about weight cutting now at this point. I'm 36, man. I've been doing this since I was a kid. I love to compete. I know I'm right there. I just thought I beat the guy who's fighting for the belt, but it's like, you know, how many times can you make this weight?
What do you think the solution is for that? Like maybe more wrestling style with same day weigh-ins, or is there a
Same
solution?
day weigh-ins, real legit hydration tests, like what one tried to do. Something, man. But this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't it.
And last thing from me, Chris, I appreciate you, is with this being such a grudge match and a trilogy, do you feel any extra pressure to go out there and get a finish or do something differently this time?
Nah, man. I feel like I got nothing to lose against this guy. But look at what I'm telling you guys. He thinks I have like this some sort of pressure on me that just doesn't exist. He's the one who has pressure on him. He's the one looking to come back to that season format division in the same weight next year. And he's the one who's they're probably looking at being like, this guy's pretty boring for the most part. And he hasn't been winning. So pressure's on him. I'm going out there. I know I've been fighting well. I know there's a chip on my shoulder. I'm coming in there to test that fucking chin. I know that chin's weak. I know it's rattled. And mine ain't. Mine's fine. So let the landlord come fucking get his money. That's what I have to say. Come get your fucking money because I'm squatting, brother. I'm squatting and I ain't giving you shit.
Thank you, Chris. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Mills.
Hey, how's it going, Chris? MMA Locker Room, part of Pub Sports Radio.
What's up, brother?
Nothing much. Let's just talk about something. You started off in 2018. We're in 2023 now. It's about 5 years went by. 19 fights in the promotion. I don't know if this is correct, but I want to say you're probably one of the fighters with the most fights in the promotion since signing with it. Coming out of it from the UFC, now you got a lot of up and coming fighters coming from other promotions over here. Is there any advice that you would give any of these fighters since you have so much experience with the PFL?
The new guys here, you're saying, or just new guys in general? What do you?
Yeah, just the new guys that's going to be coming over.
Oh, from like Bellator and stuff?
Correct.
Get ready, man, because listen, I wrestled and I thought, oh, this is going to line up perfect because I wrestled, I was making weight all the time, I was competing all the time. But really get ready because when you squeeze 4 fights in from April to like November, I mean, the pressure is on to stay healthy, to keep your weight right all the time, to be ready to compete every 8 weeks. And in your mind, it's like, yeah, that's easy to do, but in practice, it is much more difficult to do. You have to become disciplined and you got to start doing it yesterday. I would say, like, really commit to that best idea you have in your mind of how you would want to treat the day-to-day as the athlete you want to become, and execute it, man. Just keep executing it. And that consistency, that's going to give you the results in this type of a format, is to just day in and day out execute consistency.
Got it. And I mean, let's just talk about some other things too. I mean, you started off with Ring of Combat, fought in the UFC. Just haven't really been in the Bellator, but now we're going to have other fighters coming in from Bellator. I know you're saying the tournament style is something that you're not looking forward to, fighting 4 times in the season format. I mean, it's a good time right now to maybe talk to the managers and see about maybe fighting some of those welterweights at Bellator, or even, the little lightweights down there. What do you think about that?
Yeah, man, I didn't know how I was going to approach this, but, like I said, this is the last time you're going to see me at 145. It just is. I've made that decision. My family's made that decision. And this is probably the only man that could have brought me back down to this weight in this place, is just the overwhelming desire to punch him in the face over and over, because I hate everything about making the weight. Everything else about the sport I'm in love with still. Love the training day to day. I love getting in there and fighting another guy, and I love the build-ups, and I just want to be healthy though. I wouldn't want to cut weight anymore.
Got it, man. Thanks for talking to you. Thanks for all your time.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wade. Appreciate you.
Thank you as always, Tony.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. All right, guys. We have Khai Wu here. Jake, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Awesome. Khai, how you doing? First PFL fight week. How's it feel?
Good. I'm excited, words can't describe like it's the first event, like for me, and it's the championship card. I didn't expect to be on such a huge card right off the bat. But, honestly, it feels like all the hard work through the years kind of is finally paying off here, so I'm really excited.
And then what are your overall goals with the PFL?
I mean, to put it bluntly, bring PFL to Asia. I think that was one of the main reasons why, this whole deal kind of went down with me and, the PFL. But first off is just to contribute, to the younger talent, development and all that stuff. I think I keep saying going into this fight, I'm a late bloomer, that just means I get better as time goes on. So I'm really hoping to add some value now that I've been a little bit more seasoned and developed.
And then, from my understanding, one of your teammates is none other than Mark Zuckerberg. Is this correct?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So let me just ask you, is it true? Is this guy actually that good at martial arts? It's like, what's it like training with Mark Zuckerberg?
Well, the issue with people going like, well, how good is he? It's like, if you compare him to like a UFC fighter, a PFL high level PFL fighter and all these things, it's like, like what are you categorizing them as? But someone that's successful as him, at his age, getting into martial arts, it's like, man, he takes it very seriously. It's not a gimmick. It's not like an act where he's doing this for fun and then like you don't expect to see him in the next couple weeks. It's like, no, he's been doing it for a while. He's really disciplined and really I'm not kidding when I say this, like a student of the game. Like he asks questions. People want to say he's not a real fighter, he's never fought, but it's like, okay, at the same time though, I think he's a martial artist then. If you want to get technical, he's a martial artist because he trains a lot and this is his like coffee, in the mornings. He likes to train.
And then last one for me, thoughts on your opponent, Phil Caracappa, and a prediction for your first fight in the Smart Cage.
Ooh, I think he's tough. I'm getting a really tough guy, someone with more fights than me, more experience, bigger, faster, stronger. But, I like to think that I rise to the occasion. And I think perhaps there might be some underestimation on my on my opponent's part. So maybe I capitalize and look for a finish.
Thanks so much, Khai.
Yeah.
Dylan.
Hey there, Khai. I appreciate you making the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
I guess just the first question I had, because I saw you had a post a bit ago talking about how it was kind of surreal being that you fought for Bellator in 2018 and now signed with PFL. I think you've got interesting localized insights. Like, what are your thoughts on this recent merger between PFL and Bellator?
Man, I think it is still surreal. Like I was chatting with my teammates and all that. It's like, who would have thought, we'd end up here, like I think they say, a lot of people say be realistic, but a lot of the things that have happened, I think are very unrealistic and like what timing, you know what I mean? And to be a part of this historical moment in MMA where I fought for Bellator 2018, I wanted to fight for him again. And then 5 years later, after being a pro, I'm signed with PFL. On the fight week, they announced the merger. And on top of that, the fact that I'm the first PFL bantamweight fight is just a lot of like historical moments kind of going on. And one thing I learned back when I was fighting for Bellator was I never really took in the moments. Now I'm just kind of like enjoying it, letting it soak in, letting it feel, like letting the feelings kind of just go through, as opposed to just go like, man, this is awesome, and then just forget to kind of enjoy the moment. So I'm really enjoying this moment now.
Yeah, well, I love hearing how present you can be for all of this. And I guess just a quick follow-up question to that, because Mark Zuckerberg was mentioned. I saw you got to see him compete. Is he going to be, returning the favor, getting to see you compete in the smart cage here?
I'm sure at some point, but I think it's kind of the tough part about that is it's this week where it's like Thanksgiving, and like my family isn't even coming just because there's a lot of like moving parts. It's not so easy. And also I think what's nice is this fight is broadcasted on ESPN, so for everyone that wants to watch, they could just tune in there and see me all around the world. I know I have a lot of fans over in Asia that is finally getting to see me on the big screen, instead of, the smaller shows or this and that. Now it's like official on ESPN, so I'm excited about that. So I think he might be tuning in there. I don't know. He's kind of a busy guy, kind of runs a company.
Yeah, he might have a thing or two on the go. Just thought to ask.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
excited
exactly.
to see this fight all the same, though. So thanks for the insights, man.
Yeah, no worries.
Mike.
Just curious, you talked about the kind of importance and monumental moments that have been happening coming into this week. For you, also someone mentioning, how you're getting started at a later stage. Isn't that the beauty of this sport, though, that you can come in really and we talked, Mark Zuckerberg was mentioned, you can come in at any point, no matter what stage of life or how old you are, and you can compete among some of the very best martial artists in the world, which you'll have the opportunity to do this weekend.
Yeah, I think it comes down to comparison, like if you can compare me to, someone like Biaggio, then I'm way behind, but that's the thing. You don't compare yourself to others on this journey because his journey started off different than mine. So, and then on top of that, if you do comparisons, you're not going to really be happy for yourself or for others. You end up with this jealous mindset. But the thing is, it's like, I love seeing other people successful. You don't want to wish downfall anyone. So I am right where I'm supposed to be. And then, same thing with Mark. Like he got into it later on in life, but guess what? He's still doing great, and what are your goals at the end of the day? I don't think he wanted to be a pro fighter. I think he did what he did, is very successful at it. And I'm currently doing what I'm doing. And as a result, by talking to you guys, I think it somewhat says that it's paying off, the hard work slowly paying off. So I think, what you said is correct. Like anyone can start off. That's the beauty of it. But I think the key thing is going in there with a mentality of not comparing your journey or your path with anyone else's, because yours might have had more twists and turns than someone else's, and it's hard to compare those numbers and get an exact like replica of how someone's career should go. So I'm just happy to be here, and like you said, it's a beauty.
What do you make having this platform, though? Because you fought for multiple organizations, the aforementioned Bellator, and, Don Davis has already said, like, in 5 years, co-leader, not second place, not the second promotion, co-leader in this sport. And now you're on their stage and really have the opportunity to elevate not only with the promotion, but your career itself. How excited are you coming into this fight week?
Oh, I mean, it's incredible. But now that I'm with PFL and I'm signed to them and Bellator is the acquisition, it's my job now to speed up that process. When he says 5 years, I'm doing my best to try to get it sooner, maybe 3 years. So my job is now to fight hard for my spot in this company and help it elevate and take it to the next level, other than just fighting, because it's an exchange, right? They give me a platform and I just need to perform and help them out in that department. So, it's a job, and I'm really looking forward to it, because when you like your job and you like who you work with, it makes things a heck of a lot easier.
Last one for me, and I appreciate the time. Throughout all your stops and all the promotions you've fought for, what is the biggest thing you've learned through it all? And are you bringing that with you here to the PFL?
There's a lot of lessons. I think the one that stands out the most is just, like I was saying, enjoying the moment, because a lot of these things, they're like, man, like you're very jittery, you're just constantly on one, and you're like, man, I need to get this done. And you're just kind of spazzing out, if you will. It's almost like you're on like caffeine and just amped up. For me, it's like, just enjoy the moment, chat with the people behind the scenes. A lot of people tend to go into fight weeks just kind of like laser focused on their fights, as they should be. But I like to say thank you to the people behind the cameras and, like the people that are doing the interviews. Appreciate you guys. And just chatting with everyone, getting to know everyone's backstory. I like taking my mind off the fight when I'm heading into it, because no matter what, it's going to happen. There's no point in putting yourself through it twice, So that's kind of how I'm going into it with that lesson.
Jay, Christian.
Khai Wu, Shadow, how are you, sir? It's Jay Christian Gary at Focus Fights Audio.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm good.
I see. Now, as has been mentioned throughout this entire little session here, you come into the PFL with a lot of hype behind you, fighting in Asia, fighting up and down the California coast, fighting for Bellator, hell, even hanging out and teaming up with Zuck on a few training sessions. But with your fight against Phil Karakappa being a showcase, and I hate to correct you on this, it's not on ESPN, it's on ESPN Plus. But what do you think fight fans will get out of seeing you compete in a major promotion for the first time? Well, for the second time, actually.
Yeah, I think, thanks for the correction. I think what it does is it's just the accumulation of the support I've brought. It takes it to a whole nother level. People that have been tuning in or on the fence about it, and also the people that don't know who I am. It just gives me a bigger platform. I already know how to do all the behind the scenes stuff. So now it's just like putting myself out there and competing against someone as tough as my opponent. I think it adds to my resume. It takes my fighting career one step further. And then on top of that, just getting to chat with more people, opening up, maybe combining the markets of potentially here in Asia. I think that's a good capture, so that's one of my goals heading into this fight, just bridging markets and opening up.
And as you mentioned, you are a fighter of Asian American descent. You probably want to bring PFL into Asia, but you also come into this carrying obviously the whole culture on your shoulders. How would you be able to help the next Asian American superstar or success story, regardless of what genre of entertainment, or even if they don't even follow entertainment, with your skills as an athlete?
Well, first and foremost, it would have to be putting the spotlight on them. There's so much more talent that's starting out. I mean, the fact that they don't have the greatest coaching or the knowledge or a platform to shine on. There's guys that I've met over in Asia where they're more talented than I am, just gifted. So I want to open up the doors and bring them in. You know what I mean? Just give them a chance to shine and introduce them to the world. So at the end of the day, I think my job is not only just to fight, but also to do well enough to get enough attention on me where I have a platform and a voice to kind of give it to everyone that I think deserves a shot too. A rising tide raises all ships. And that's my mentality kind of going into it.
Exactly. Well, other than that, I hope you do well in your fight against Mr. Karakappa. Best of skill to you. And by the way, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
You're welcome.
Mills, please finish us up with Khai.
Hey, how's it going? It's MMA Locker Room, part of Pup Sports Radio. How you doing, Shadow?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. I just want to ask you something, man. One of your fights, you finished your opponent with a Peruvian necktie. Can you walk me through that finish and how that happened? Because, I mean, a lot of people ain't able to finish their opponents with prestige submissions like that.
Oh, man, what if I was going to submit my opponent with this? Now you have me spill the secrets. It's actually correction. It's not a Peruvian necktie. The Peruvian necktie is a different grip, but I call mine the Chinese necktie just because it's like, there's a Japanese necktie. There's all sorts of neckties. I was like, might as well make mine like Asian, So it's just a grip difference. And the reason why I did that move is because when I was like 14, I did like a fun super fight in-house at our gym. And I was going against a brown belt. And he shot in on me. He was an adult. And I was going to lose no matter what. But then for some reason, he did a lazy double leg. And I actually surprised him by sprawling him out. And then I threw on that submission because I actually watched it back in the day. I don't know I forgot who pulled it off. I'd love to give him credit for it, but I watched it on TV. And then I did it. Then I actually submitted him, and he was like, wow, I can't believe you did that. And then he was like, I'll beat you 9 times out of 10. I'm like, I believe you, maybe even 10 times out of 10. It's just 0.1 chance he ran into me. And, so once I hit that move, I did maybe like 100 jiu-jitsu tournaments, and I've pulled that off there. And then I was like, man, I never see this move in MMA. So I'm going to throw it on and try it out. And then I ended up getting this mission.
Got it. And then for the people that's not familiar with your fight style, few words, how would you describe your fight style?
This is how I describe my fighting career. I'd say it's like Batman. Like have none of the skills to hang with the big dogs. I just got to train extremely hard, use all the gadgets I got, like my Therabody recovery tools to heal up my wounds because I can't heal up overnight. But fight IQ, I always have that kryptonite in my back pocket for everyone. And give me prep time, which PFL does. They give me a contract months in advance, and I have prep time. I think you use that fight IQ and intelligence to beat my opponents.
Got it. And last one for me. I mean, I know everybody's bringing up Mark Zuckerberg training with you. I'm pretty sure he learned a lot of things off you, but can you tell us a few things that you actually learned off of him?
Yeah, it's actually not fighting related at all. It's more discipline in life because he like rarely ever skips a day. And also, as I was saying before in a couple other interviews, I want to get my business mindset better. I see him super successful. He goes into fight. He's a businessman going into fighting. And then I want to be the fighter going into business, so I don't know, maybe get into business after PFL, just tighten up, do some own things, some ideas that I have. But yeah, that's what I learned from him.
All right. Best of luck. Can't wait to see your debut this week on PFL.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Khai. Appreciate your time today. We're just going to go right next door to the live media, and then you are. We'll go over to the live scrum, and then you'll be some back.
Okay.
All right, guys, we got our newest member of the PFL family, Lorenzo. Go ahead and kick us off.
Hey, Derek, it's good to talk to you. First and foremost, welcome to the PFL. You've been in the same promotion for 10 plus years now. This is your first fight week in the new promotion. I'm just curious, man, is it still possible to get these first week jitters at your age and at your experience level? What's that been like?
Nah, no first week jitters. It's just business as usual. Like you said, I had so many fight weeks, and it's just another fight week for me with a different promotion that, I'm liking a lot.
Your first opponent in the PFL, Ray Cooper III, hasn't fought in almost 18 months. That means he's had more time to rest, more time to recover, more time to train. What's it like for you preparing a training camp for an opponent that has had that extra time off? Is there anything different in your approach when you fight someone like that?
Nah, when you've been fighting for so long, it's just about being the best version of yourself. So, that's been my focus, and just keep bettering myself, and then I feel that's enough.
Heard that. Thank you so much, Derek. It's a pleasure to talk to you, man. Welcome to the PFL.
All right. Thank you.
Mike.
Derek, welcome. PFL Fight Week. Obviously, you just mentioned this isn't anything new to you. Striking while the iron is hot. First, to just ask, obviously, everyone's been asked today, the merger between Bellator and PFL, or the acquisition of Bellator, that opens up a whole world of opportunities for you going into 2024. With this matchup against Ray Cooper, first and foremost, how excited are you about the acquisition and what a fight with Ray could lead to with all these new opportunities in 2024?
Oh yeah, PFL, Bellator together. A lot of great fighters on both sides. Adding that together is just, endless possibilities, big for the company. And yeah, it's one step at a time. Fight with Ray this week, and after that, we can look at another big fight.
I would be dumb not to ask. Obviously, your management does a lot of great work throughout the business, but to put you into this opportunity with the PFL and then having this new stage really grow coming into 2024. How much or how excited are you for the PFL future, and how much credit do you give your management to putting you in this situation where, you know, in your previous home, it felt like you were sometimes disrespected, not given enough credit and all that?
Yeah, it's a lot of opportunity. Signing with PFL was a great thing for me. It gave me a new motivation, new opportunity. I know what I'm working towards, and I'm happy to be here.
Last one for me. It was mentioned this week that in 5 years, that's the goal, that PFL will be considered the co-leader of MMA. You fought with who many believe is, the industry leader in your previous promotion. What kind of sense of pride will you carry as you continue not only your career, but a quest towards a title to get your new home to that level of there's no number one, number two, it's 1A, 1B, and the fans can figure out who's 1A?
Yeah, for sure. PFL signing me, they definitely show interest in me and say, hey, I believe that you still have a lot left. So it's my job and my duty to make sure that I reciprocate that and give back to the promotion and put on some great fights.
Thank you.
Mills.
North Carolina. How's it going? Derek Brunson, MMA Locker Room, part of Puff Sports Radio.
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Seems like, a lot of noise is being made about the up and coming event going on this Friday. But tell me, with that being said, how hard is it to stay focused knowing that, you got all that good food smelling around you every single day, all the good stuff, all the yams, all the cabbage, all the greens, all the stuff, and all the Thanksgiving food. How is it to just stay focused on the fight?
Well, you had to rub it in, huh?
Gotta mention it.
We're cutting weight over here, so it's not any of that type of food going on like the next couple of days, Probably get some leftovers when I get home. But yeah, just focus on the fight here, cutting the weight, and we'll get to that later.
Got it. And I seen a couple of years ago, you started opening up your own fitness gym, and it seems like you've been doing a lot more training over there and stuff like that. How's the Brunson's MMA fitness gym going?
Yeah, the Brunson's MMA gym is going well. We have some upcoming fighters. We have people that BJJ enthusiasts. We have people that's just coming to get in shape. Some moms that want to do cardio kickboxing. So it's going well. It's more of like, my pass down to the community, something good where people can have something to do and enjoy their martial arts passion.
Got it. And last one from me. How did that famous Derek Brunson pose come about? Because that's everywhere now. You got fighters trying to implement it too. How did that Derek pose come about?
It's just one of those natural things, I thought it was funny, and then it just kind of took off from there.
Got it. So we should expect to see that this Friday?
Absolutely.
All right, man. Can't wait to see you fight this week.
Thank you.
Jake.
Hey, Derek, good to talk to you. How's it feel to be at your first PFL fight week?
It feels good to be here at PFL for my first official fight week. Ready for weigh-ins in the morning and then fight Friday.
So out of all the promotions in MMA, why PFL? What enticed you to join and sign with them?
I like what PFL had going on. I feel like they're really making a push towards being the top organization. A lot of good fighters. The season, the playoffs, go out here, win a whole bunch of money, have a little off season.
So safe to say next year we will see you in the tournament. That's the plan?
Yeah, that's the plan as of now.
Awesome, man. And then they're throwing you right to the best. There's no tune-up fight, right to Ray Cooper. So how do you feel like the PFL roster compares to UFC's roster in terms of skill?
PFL have a lot of talented fighters, a lot of hungry guys. So yeah, what's been said, like guys come over from the UFC and haven't done too well. So it just shows that there's definitely talented fighters on this side also.
And then Ray Cooper, as I just mentioned, what are your thoughts on him stylistically and as a competitor in general?
I think Ray Cooper's a talented fighter. He's short, he's stocky, he like to bring the pressure, throw bombs, and I've seen it over and over again. So it's my job to go out there and dismantle.
And then last one for me, you just said you're going to enter the tournament. So overall goals with PFL and 2024 goals.
Overall goals for PFL in 2024 is some big fights, and also, you know, winning that $1 million tournament.
Thanks, man. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Jay Christian.
Derek the One Brunson, how are you, brother? It's Jay Christian Gary at Focus Fights Audio.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, sir. I'm doing all right. Now, two-part question. First off, with this being your first PFL fight coming in after 21 fights in the octagon, 25 fights for Zuffa in total, what has been the biggest difference you've noticed from fighting in the UFC or Strikeforce from, you know, obviously fighting in a circular cage or an octagon to now fighting in the smart cage, the decagon, and possibly fighting for $1 million next year?
Yeah, that's what I know about it. You know, fighting the opportunity to fight for $1 million and fighting in a smart cage. You know, in a couple of days, I'm going to be able to experience that and show my talents.
I see. And the second part of my question is, as someone in yourself, I know that you're getting closer to the big 4-0. You're probably nearing either the end of your career or just starting up a new beginning, as it'll probably happen on Friday. But what do you hope people will learn about your journey as a fighter? And if you do tend to say that this might be your last year as a fighter, what will you hope people will remember about your career if and eventually when you hang up the gloves?
The big fights, the exciting fights, the crazy moments, you know, the crazy knockouts. And a guy who was consistent, who stayed around for years in the top of all the high ranked fighters.
I see. Other than that, man, best of skill to you, even though you probably had the best of skill for you the last 15 years. And I hope you do well on Friday night, man. Welcome to the PFL.
All right.
All right, Corey, finish us off, please.
Hey, Derek, it's great to talk to you. I know you just confirmed about the 205-pound tournament that you'd be fighting in next year, but with the recent acquisition of Bellator and their middleweight champion, Johnny Eblen, does that fight interest you at all?
Yeah, I've been watching Johnny for a while. You know, he's a talented guy. I believe he's undefeated. All fights interest me. There's nothing off the table. So, yeah, new acquisition. First thing first is Ray Cooper, but yeah, all fights I like.
And I believe that you've had 21 fights in the UFC. Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Does that kind of put a chip on your shoulder coming to PFL where you can kind of say, like, none of these guys have been able to stick around for 21 fights in UFC? I am the guy.
No, not really. You know, I know it's a new task at hand, you know. I'm the hunted now. You know, I've been the hunted for years. I've always been ranked, you know, in the top 10 in the world, and guys always want to come get my spot. So to do that is an amazing thing. But you know, coming over from the UFC to PFL, these guys want to show who they are too. So, like, you know, it's my job to be on top of my A game and come out here and bring it.
Interesting. I like that perspective. And lastly, for me, do you have a favorite post-fight meal that you like to enjoy?
Food, all types of food. No, I don't know. I like spaghetti. So yeah, it sounds really good right about now.
I hear you. I hope you get to enjoy that after Friday, man. Best of luck.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Derek, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate you coming by. All right, guys, that was the end of our media day today. I will put this link in the Dropbox when it is processed, and we will see you guys tomorrow at the press conference.